Did they really leave everything behind for their grandson? In a stunning revelation that no one saw coming, Joong finally opens up about his parents' dramatic transition from Korea to Italy and the extraordinary love that led them there, from quiet streets in Daejeon to the romantic alleys of Rome. What pushed them to start over in a foreign land at this stage of life? Let's uncover the full story right here on Red Carpet Revealed. Stay with us. Would you abandon your entire life to be closer to someone you've never met? This haunting question set the stage for one of the most unexpected and heartfelt revelations of the year. In a deeply personal and emotionally charged interview, Song Joong-ki, the global star known for his iconic roles in Descendants of the Sun and Reborn, Rich opened a window into a side of his life the public had never seen, one where fame and fortune faded into the background and what remained was family sacrifice and a love that crossed oceans. The beginning of a new chapter. When Song Joong-ki married Katie Louise Saunders, a British-Italian actress and longtime friend, the Korean entertainment world was caught off guard. The wedding was quiet, intimate, and carefully kept away from the public eye. But even greater joy came when the couple welcomed their first child in the summer of 2023. While the media focused on the baby's birth and the couple's life in Rome, a quieter story was unfolding thousands of kilometers away in Daejeon, South Korea, where Song's elderly parents lived. Their only son had started a new family in a new country, and they had yet to meet their grandson. They watched him grow up on a screen, Song said, voice trembling. But they were never really there, and that broke them. The drastic decision no one saw coming. In Korean culture, roots are everything. Ancestors, traditions, family homes. These are not just ideas, they're a way of life. So when Song Joong-ki's parents made the decision to leave South Korea and move permanently to Italy, it wasn't just shocking, it was unthinkable. They didn't tell me at first. Song revealed, I found out when my mother called and said, "We've bought plane tickets." I thought it was a visit. But then she said, "No, we're coming to stay." The couple had sold their home, the same house where Song Joong-ki was raised, where generations of memories lived between faded wallpaper and polished floors. They gave away furniture, packed their most cherished belongings, and boarded a plane with 2 large suitcases and one goal in mind: to become part of their grandson's life. Culture shock and quiet struggles. When they arrived in Rome, the fairy tale vision they might have imagined quickly gave way to reality. They didn't speak the language. They didn't know the food. They didn't even know how to ride the metro. Song confessed for weeks they barely left the apartment. His father, once a proud government official, was overwhelmed by the bustling streets and unfamiliar social norms. His mother, who had spent her entire life cooking traditional Korean dishes, found herself lost in Italian supermarkets filled with cheese and wine instead of kimchi and gochujang. But amidst that discomfort, something incredible happened. They began again. They enrolled in community Italian language courses, practicing pronunciation late into the night with flashcards. They joined a local Korean expat group. His mother learned how to make pasta. His father, once quiet and formal, started making jokes in broken Italian. They had to reinvent themselves, Song said, and they did it not because they wanted to, but because they wanted him to know them, not through screens, but through love, through presence. A love that transcended distance. The bond between grandparent and grandchild is always special, but this one felt epic. Each morning, Song's father would push the stroller along the cobbled sidewalks of Trastevere, singing Korean lullabies that echoed through alleyways lined with history. His mother told traditional folk tales, acting them out with wide eyes and playful voices. Their presence brought something to the child's life that even the most devoted parents couldn't replicate: a living connection to where he came from. And for Song Joong-ki, watching this unfold was almost too much to bear. They gave up everything they knew, everything they had built, and they did it quietly, without expectation, without praise, just for the joy of seeing their grandson grow up smiling. The sacrifice no one knew about. Months later, Song made a discovery that would change how he saw their move forever. His parents had emptied nearly their entire retirement savings to support the move, not only to secure a comfortable living space nearby, but to help fund the baby's education in the future. "I found the transfer details hidden in a drawer," he said. "They didn't tell me because they didn't want me to feel guilty, but I cried for hours when I saw it." Katie recounted moments that could melt the hardest hearts, how her mother-in-law, once intimidated by even a simple grocery run, now confidently bargained at the neighborhood market in charming, stuttered Italian. How her father-in-law, once stone-faced from the jet lag of culture shock, now led evening strolls through the piazza with his grandson in his arms, smiling at every single passerby as if they were lifelong friends. They made Italy feel like Korea, Katie said, and somehow they made it feel even more like home. And then she paused, visibly emotional. Her voice trembled as she added, "My son will grow up never knowing the distance they crossed to love him, but I'll never forget it." The most beautiful revolution, quiet, selfless, and unseen. In the alleys of Trastevere, a revolution took place not with protest or noise, but through grandparents. The bakery where they first pointed awkwardly to order bread now saves a fresh pain integral for them every morning. The florist, who once misunderstood their gestures, now greets them by name and once gifted a bouquet of lilies for the bravest couple in the neighborhood. Even the cafe down the road has changed its menu slightly, adding a mild miso soup called Zuppa di Halmeoni, named after Joong's mother, who once brought them homemade Korean broth during flu season. "They remind us what love really looks like," said Alessandra, a local schoolteacher. "Not flashy, not fast, but slow, steady, and willing to cross oceans just to be near someone." The child, now walking, babbling, laughing, isn't just the grandson of a Korean superstar. He's become the beating heart of two cultures, the bridge between two generations, and the silent center of a love story that brought an entire community together. Global waves. When Korea cried, Italy cheered. When Korean media released Joong's interview, reactions came flooding in, not just from fans, but from families, parents, and grandparents around the world. "This is the most honest thing I've seen from a celebrity in years. My parents also raised my children while learning a new language," I cried. "Reading this, they didn't just raise a superstar, they are the stars." Song Joong-ki. Thank you for reminding us that no matter how far we go, our roots follow. Even fellow celebrities began speaking up. Actor Lee Byung-hun posted a message on social media. "Behind every great man is not just a strong woman, but strong parents who gave him the world." Singer IU, known for her empathy and poetic soul, commented in an interview, "I hope my parents can be that kind of grandparent someday. The kind that doesn't just give gifts, but gives presents." From headlines to history, a story that could reshape the screen. With the flood of attention, entertainment insiders have begun whispering about something even bigger. A potential drama series or docu-film based on this true story. Industry professionals say the narrative is so rich in emotion, transformation, and human truth, it would be a global masterpiece in the making. Working titles have begun circulating. "The Grandparents Who Followed the Sun," "Across Oceans for You," "Home is Where You Are." But when asked about the idea, Song Joong-ki simply smiled and answered, "I never planned to make a story. My parents just lived one that deserves to be told. Legacy beyond stardom, what the world will remember." In the end, what matters isn't the houses, the awards, or even the spotlight. What stays with us are stories like these stories where two elderly parents, full of pride but also humility, crossed a foreign land not for fame but for family. Stories where the meaning of home shifts from a structure to a presence, where love isn't shown through words but in daily actions, silent sacrifices, and unshakable commitment. Today, that little boy in Rome will grow up not only trilingual, not only loved by two cultures, but blessed beyond measure by something greater, grandparents who rewrote their final chapter, so his first ones could be brighter. And for Song Joong-ki, no role, no script, no drama could ever match this one truth. They were there when it mattered most, and because of them, my son will always know who he is and where he comes from. From Seoul to Rome, from generations to destinies, this isn't just a family journey, it's a love story for the ages.